Hello and welcome, it's Neil Dugan here again, and we're up to day 21 in the great 30-day depression challenge, and it's very exciting to be here with you today because we're going to talk about phase 1. Yesterday we talked about phase 2, and that was in a fit of me being an individual because phase 2 talked about my own journey, so I wanted to talk about phase 2 first so that you could get a feeling about my own journey in this transformation from depression, anxiety, into a process where we're actually finding peace and love and harmony. So the transformation that we're looking at here is a transformation from anxiety to connection. Now you'll recall from the earlier videos that one of the defining factors in anxiety is that you're trying to control your environment. So you're trying to actually get your entire environment under control. The other side of this process, the other side of the coin, which allows us on the upward spiral, is to connect. So rather than trying to get this outside world under our control so that it no longer comes in and impacts on us, what we do is we do completely the reverse. What we do is we go out and we connect with our environment. So we allow ourselves to become integrated with our environment. Now there's really only one way that I know to actually affect that connection, and that's to use love. So in the spirit of this 30-day challenge, which is that I give you all of the tools that you need to actually deal with this, I know from personal experience and working with over 1,000 clients that the only way that you can actually get from a state of wanting to control your environment, so in other words getting it all under your foot, so that's that control, that downward pressure on your environment, and to move that into a place of connection is to work from love. So you have to open your heart, you have to extend yourself to the environment, so every aspect of your environment, whether it be your husband, whether it be your children, whether it be your mother or father, whoever it is, the boss, the people at work, the person on the bus who spills a drink on you, however you do it, you need to actually be connecting with every aspect of your environment, and there's only one energy that will work to do this, and that is love. You have to work from love to actually affect this connection. Now, hanging off the back of the love, of course, is tremendous empathy. So, if we're talking about the people in our lives who, up until now, have been making, putting pressure on us or creating situations which allow us to create pressure, as a more correct way of viewing it. In every one of those situations, if you begin to work from love and you start making the connection from a love perspective, then immediately will follow empathy, will follow compassion, will follow forgiveness. We spoke about the part of our being that's actually mainly controlling that process, and we talked about it as being the moving center. Well, today what we're talking about is the emotional center, and of course this is where the love's coming from. It's coming from our emotional center, and of course we're talking also about very high emotions. So we're talking about love, empathy, compassion. All of those things are very, very high emotions that we're working with, and they are stemming directly from our emotional center. You may recall when you look back at the situation when we were talking about anxiety, the anxiety downward spiral phase, we talked a lot about how with this control that what we're needing to do is actually sort of manage the fear. So it's very fearful in its expression. However, when you dig a bit deeper, you actually find the dominant emotional driver that sits underneath all of that is actually self-interest. So selfishness is the actual emotion that we're talking about there. And of course what we're trying to do is we're trying to put everything in our environment under our control, under our control. We're not trying to put everything in the environment under its own control or under the control of the divine. We're trying to bring it under our control. It's essentially a selfish motive. Now, when we talk about anxiety, like people, a psychologist, if you ask a psychologist, they're going to very rightly say to you that anxiety is underpinned by fear. Completely agree. But it's not, that's the surface part of it. Sitting underneath that is self-interest or selfishness. So in these first two phases, we've got a situation where, we're working with courage, in a field of seeming self-interest, because when you're depressed, there's no question about it, you are very, very self-interested, and your ability to extend yourself to your environment is almost next to none. So you have no ability at all to actually extend yourself to the environment, and yet sitting underneath that is fear. It's actually fear of the environment. And in this first phase we're dealing with the idea of selfishness underpinning the anxiety. And of course, you know, we were really thinking about this idea that it might actually be fearful, that fear was driving it. And you know, in amongst all of this is this tremendous inability to actually connect. And of course, connection is the thing that removes anxiety. So with connection, the anxiety will disappear completely. So to do this, you just literally need to follow along what we're talking about. Now, obviously, within the coaching approach that we do, we allow you all kinds of tools and avenues into this. But you'll be able to make tremendous improvements with your anxiety just by following these concepts that I'm talking about. So if you have that intention, if you have a clear intention, it's going to make a big difference for you. So look, that's all I have to say on the topic here today, of removing or moving from this place of anxiety to a place of connection. And please like and share this if you found it useful. If you know of anybody who's suffering from anxiety, they need to be watching this video. And I look forward to catching up on the number 22 tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Bye.